Man, Tommy, how are we doing tonight?
Doing good, doing good.
So check it, man. I did this for you because I know you see all the LSU stuff in the background, and I didn't want to come in taunting. So I got my Wake
I hear
Forest in
it.
off the bench. I got my Wake hat. I got my Wake koozie I got from Winston-Salem. So I'm being, very fair here
Very
with
courteous.
with all that
Very
LSU
courteous.
stuff. Yeah, no, throwing no shade. Okay,
Yeah, I
can't take
got
the posters off the wall, but what I
I
can do
got
is
you.
I can wear the Wake apparel. So
I
treat our
got you.
guests right.
It's respect, respect.
But with that, man, let's break the ice here before we get into your story. It's an important question. If there was a zombie apocalypse and you could pick three teammates from Wake Forest, who do you want on your team to survive this thing?
Uh I'm going 1-1 Adam Cesari, most likely. Um he'll do a lot of protecting for me for sure. He's a big crazy dinosaur, so I got him going 1-1. And then my second pick, I'm going Pierce Bennett because he's kind of like a trailer park boy for sure. He's one of my best friends, but he's kind of like a trailer park boy. So I'm going those two guys. And then for my third pick, I'm probably going Cole Roland because he's just kind of a maniac when it comes down to moments like that, life or death.
Sounds good. No, I mean Nick Kurtz is a big dude. I don't know that I'm not like I,
Yeah, he's
That's the fan pick. That's
he's kind of like a little teddy bear though. Like I'd
oh
rather have guys going into it knowing I'm gonna survive. You know.
that's back to back episodes. A teammate through somebody that we thought was big because last episode was Tennessee and Andrew Lindsay said Blake Burke was a teddy bear. So these big guys, Daniel, they big, but they ain't bringing it.
I mean, what's crazy is, in my opinion, when I watch you guys on TV, everybody looks big.
Yeah.
So like, it's funny to me when you get guys that go, "Oh, well, he's soft as Charmin," or he's just a big teddy bear. Like I'm like, man, this guy's really put on a show
But
on TV.
they hit 484
Right.
bombs though, so there's
I can do
that.
that. Yeah, I can do that.
So, if you were going out right now, speaking of with the crew, you had to sing a karaoke song. You had to pick the song that you felt most confident singing in front of people. What song is it?
I don't know. I might go. This is really not my vibe, but I'll probably go like Little Bitty by uh fuck, Little Bitty or fuck, what's the other song called? Uh Jesus Christ. This one's blanking me right here.
Man, blanking them. They don't know. Man,
I'll go, I'll go,
we're
all
not
right, I'll go Island Song.
as I say, we're not taking him to karaoke night, Daniel. He
I
don't
got
know
it.
what
No,
he's doing.
I'm not a great karaoke person.
If you're going to karaoke night with me, you better bring it, because I'm gonna be on my A game.
I'll bring it in other ways, but I
We'll,
don't know
we'll,
about the karaoke side.
we'll see if you got an answer for this next one then, because we're staying
All right.
music realm. Like,
All
if
right.
you were a rapper, what's your rapper name, Tommy?
Tomahawk. Little
Oh,
Tomahawk.
there we go. I feel
Lil, whatever. That seems to be like the template
well.
for rap.
You got to.
Yeah.
But
I think I have to go Little T Tomahawk or something like that. Little T.
he actually fits that theme though, man. My man, that's what I like about him, man. Don't let his size throw you though.
Exactly.
So this one's fun, man. You're a different age than us, so there's no telling who it might be. But who was your childhood celebrity crush, whether musician, actress, who
Growing up, it was definitely Selena Gomez and Ariana Grande. I was just growing up; those are the two celebrity crushes for sure. I feel like I grew out of that, and it went to more of like a Margot Robbie now. You know,
now we sharing same interests. I'm with you.
Exactly.
Harley Quinn can come over
Uh,
anytime. My wife didn't hear that.
Tommy said Tommy said he's already got his tickets for Barbie.
I didn't say that, but I did see a big old ad in New York when I was there the other day for it, and I was like, I would go watch that movie. Just no, I'm playing. No.
Hey, I guarantee there's gonna be women that go watch that movie just for Ryan Gosling. 100%.
Sure.
Well, that and there's gonna be women there, Tom. It's like going to a country concert. It's like 7 to 8 girls
Mhm.
per one guy. So I mean, he could show up in Barbie movie, and be surrounded by women. It's not a bad idea.
Not a horrible idea. I don't know if it's my type of vibe though.
I feel you. I've seen some pretty bad chick flicks for girls. So I mean, whatever you got to do sometimes. But moving on, favorite athlete growing up.
Robinson Cano.
Daniel, I love that answer because that's back-to-back answers where we got somebody just not your typical answer, right? Like, especially your teammates, right? I feel like all three of your teammates said Bryce Harper, no joke. Like it was
Really?
a typical answer. And then back-to-back, like just we're getting completely different answers. I like that. And Robinson Cano, what a swing.
Yeah, exactly.
He's pretty good, so I hear. You you just left from New York, and your favorite athlete was a New York Yankee. Is there some type of like love for the New York?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely grew up a Yankees fan. My grandparents are from up there. I grew up a Yankees fan. He was always my favorite player growing up. And then even when he got traded away or signed with the Mariners, he was still my favorite player. Tried to mimic my game after him because I played second base till I got to Wake Forest and I couldn't feel a ground ball anymore. No, I'm messing. But yeah.
I couldn't even see you playing second base the way I watch you cover the outfield.
Oh man, it's just you might as well just be the only guy out there sometimes, is what it feels like. And I'm sure your left and right fielders are just like, well, let me just play the line over here. Tommy's got everything else. Gap to gap.
Yeah.
Here he goes again.
Well, and that's the thing, and we'll get into
They
all
also, I will say we did a good job like backing each other up and like I would have the rain to like go and dive or whatever. Even if I miss the ball, I know they're just gonna be there.
Yeah, Daniel, we're obviously going to get into Wake later, but I don't actually have this as a topic. So let's just bring it up now when we talk about the coverage that Tommy has to do. Everybody likes to talk about the short left and right field porches right out there at Wake, but Tommy has a unique dynamic that not a lot of guys in baseball have to deal with because the center field not only does it cut out, but if I understand it correctly, Tommy, it goes up.
Yeah, the whole warning track like rises at Wake of probably 6 inches or something as it just goes up. And it's kind of, I mean, as a freshman, it was like weird every once in a while, but this year I felt like it was very normal. But like we had games in like our regional and stuff, and we had kids falling on the ground for the other teams because it's like a little hill and it comes out of nowhere. But yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's definitely nice, when you have those kind of quirks in your field for that to be your home field. And to me, it sounds like it took a little bit to get used to that.
Sure.
So you started talking a little bit about family. So let's get into that. Let's talk about you growing up. Tell me a little bit about where you're from.
So I'm from Oak Island, North Carolina. It's like smack dab in the middle on the coast of Wilmington and Myrtle Beach, small little town. Grew up here from second, third grade all the way to right before my junior year. I moved up to Winston-Salem and spent 2 years there and then went to Wake. But
Oh,
I played.
If I have it correctly, you got two brothers, right?
I got two brothers, and then we raised my cousin that I also kind of look at as a brother.
So three brothers out,
Yes, sir.
in the house. Like, what are the age groups and where do you fall in that?
Is me and my younger brother. He's 18 months younger than me, and then my older brother Rusty. I'm 20. He's 25 now, and then my oldest brother Zach's like 29 now with 2 kids.
So how is growing up? Is it like what I picture a house full of boys? I picture just heavy competition to start, but like fighting and beatings and blood and tears and just all kinds of just craziness. So like talk me through like is am I on point with thinking that way?
You're right.
Right on point, man. So
Right on point. Yeah, me and my younger brother Austin, who plays at Carolina, and he actually just committed to Wake this week. He just hit the portal and committed to Wake. Me and him always were the ones fighting, and we were always like very competitive with each other growing up in every single sport, from baseball to football, whatever it was. Didn't really matter. Even if we were playing like right in the front yard, it didn't matter. We were getting fist fights over that type of stuff. But me and Austin were like kind of like best friends always growing up, and we always did everything together. And then my older brother was kind of on the vibe of like golf, like me and my brother didn't play golf. We played like contact sports and sports like that instead of golf. So me and Austin always were like together doing all that stuff.
So obviously, there's heavy competition. You guys are doing your thing. You're fighting. You're doing what brothers do. Boys will be boys. But outside of the house, obviously, you played baseball. So at what age did you start playing baseball?
I obviously my dad made me pick up a bat when I was like 2 years old, but I started at like 5, 6, and probably before then, honestly. But like I really, my first time really remembering baseball was like when I was like 7. I was playing All-Stars when I was 7, 8, or 7, 8 year olds. I remember playing All-Stars when I lived in Raleigh, and then I moved to Oak Island, and I just remember playing in like 3rd grade, like little league, like 8, 9U, 10U, and then when I was 9, I think I played on my first travel team out of Wilmington. And then after I played my first travel team, it was just kind of like I knew I was going to go the baseball route if I was going to make it for any type of sport.
I heard a key word. I heard a key word in there. You said he made you pick one up. So is dad a huge baseball guy?
Yeah, he was kind of more of a basketball guy than a baseball guy, growing up. But
He said, Tommy, you got 3 other brothers. Here's a bat, bro. Good luck.
yeah, and he was more of a basketball guy, kind of. But he did. I mean, he's been my hitting coach my whole life practically, and he's taught me a lot with baseball because he played baseball too the whole time. But he definitely paved the way for me and my brother and taught us a lot, and obviously took us to like everything that started us off and got us through like travel ball and all that stuff. So that was pretty good because he didn't really know that much about any of that type of stuff. And then we just like started playing travel ball, and he kind of made me pick a sport between soccer and baseball when I was like, I don't know, like 9, 10. I had to pick one to play travel for, and I picked baseball. That's what it was.
Daniel, think about this. A basketball dad, he said, was his hitting coach, and he's like a career 375 hitter. Like, that's phenomenal. He can come coach my kid anytime he wants.
I mean, if a basketball dad gets you hitting above 300, I can imagine like how good your jumper could be. I mean,
yeah.
You talked about soccer and having to make a choice, but I'm assuming that because at such an early age you're having to make a choice between baseball and soccer, it was pretty much baseball from there all the way through high school and to college.
Oh yeah, it was pretty much all baseball, but like in middle school I played football, basketball, track, baseball, and something else. I don't even know. But I played like every single sport through middle school, and then I got to high school and I stopped playing all my other sports. But I also committed to Wake my freshman fall. And
what high school?
I was at South Brunswick High School out of Bowling Spring Lakes, which is right off Oak Island.
I could definitely see the track, Daniel. I mean, I was there firsthand for that speed. Like, dude's getting down the line so fast.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: when we're doing research, we're looking at things, and a lot of times guys don't listen to their accolades and kind of like reflect on it. So I'm going to read these off to you, and then I just want you to talk a little bit about these things that I rattle off. So you're rated the number 16th best recruit in North Carolina by Perfect Game. You named Central Piedmont Player of the Year in 2021. You were first team all conference. You led your high school to North Carolina 4A state championship. You were voted MVP as a sophomore in 2019, and you were high school teammates with your boy Josh Hartle. So, given all that, does that stuff matter to you?
No, not really. I mean, I like the stuff that matters to me is like the team stuff. I feel like the state championship, like the 16th overall recruit coming out of high school. That shit don't matter at all. No one gives a fuck about that type of stuff. No one. That's how I think about it. I mean, it really doesn't matter because I mean, you're gonna go to a college no matter what, and if you don't hit, you're you're not gonna play. I mean, no one really cares about your ranking, but like the team stuff and playing with Josh and going to the state championship for my high school, that meant a lot to me for sure. It definitely shaped the way like I thought of a lot of stuff for sure.
Yeah, I don't think you should glance over it. I mean, obviously, I get what you're saying. Those team accolades are way more important than the individual ones. But when you're rated the 16th best recruit, by, perfect game, like we're not talking about just some, Mickey Mouse organization that's ranking you. We're talking about the premier ranking system that everyone goes off of. Like, to me, that tells me what type of athlete you are, what type of player you are, how hard you work. And like, I don't think that should be understated, because to become that, you have to put in time, and you've done that, man. So a lot of success just in North Carolina high school baseball. But what was the moment in high school where you were like, man, I can do this at the next level?
My freshman fall, I went down and played at the World Wood Bat, and I kind of just like probably had one of the best tournaments of my life. And literally right after that tournament, I just kind of had bunches of schools just start calling me out of nowhere. It was kind of crazy because I didn't have like any schools calling me at all. And then, I mean, I was a freshman and stuff, like it didn't really think about it like that. And then I went down to this tournament. There was obviously a bunch of college coaches there. And after that tournament, it was just like my phone was just blowing up off of from other coaches.
So let me ask you this, just a side note. Was Josh Hartle, was he as nasty as he is now in high school?
Josh was nasty in high school. He's probably nastier now because he throws a cutter and different things and they're really good pitches. He's a different pitcher now, though. I would say he's a different type of pitcher. In high school, like right now, I mean, he's throwing in his cutter a lot and he's striking out way like so many kids. It's ridiculous. And in high school, he was kind of just like a heater curveball guy, just striking out everyone and getting soft contact every time. That's what it felt like. But he's definitely developed a lot and changed some of his pitches up and different things. But I think he's better than he was for sure. I think he's developed a lot, and I think he's looking really good.
Yeah, I mean, you've almost, you with guys throwing 98 to triple digits on a consistent basis, like you almost have to have some type of wrinkle outside of a fastball. So
Yeah, for
I,
sure.
I could see like where the growth at Wake would help him there. But let me ask you this. You mentioned, committing your freshman year, which seems like a pretty early time to commit. And then you mentioned you moved to Winston-Salem. Um, but how does Wake Forest come into the fold? Was it when you had this amazing outing and you're going crazy, and then you'd say that the phone just started ringing? Was Wake Forest one of those calls, or was Wake Forest in the game earlier than that, and you just said, you know what, now I'm in Winston-Salem, like this is where I want to be? How does Wake become the school?
So my freshman year, I was still in Oak Island. I was still living in Oak Island, and my dream school was Duke, and I was kind of reaching out to Duke. They weren't really reaching out to me and different things, and other schools kind of doing the same thing. And then I went to that tournament and played in that tournament and played really well. And then after that, all the schools that I was reaching out to, they were reaching out to me at that point, Duke and Wake and NC State and different schools. And Wake was always like I was interested in Wake, but I never I didn't know much about Wake. I was always a Duke fan growing up. I'm being from North Carolina. I was always a Duke fan. And if I wanted to play baseball in North Carolina, it would probably been at Carolina or NC State. That was like a North Carolina kid's dream, I would say. And I don't know. I just like showed up on campus at Wake, and it just like I fell in love with the coach mostly. Like it was mostly the coach. I was very comfortable with him and like respected him, and it just like and I trusted him a lot through the process. And compared to the other coaches I talked to, a lot of the other coaches kind of gave me weird vibes a little bit, and I didn't get that at all with Walt. And so he was pretty straightforward with me, and I obviously made a decision really early, but I definitely don't regret it. And I know I made the right one, which I'm glad I did for sure. Cause I could definitely see kids just like making the wrong decision too early.
Well, they've changed that rule now. So
Yeah.
do you like that they changed that rule? So
I
because
think yes, I like it.
there's a lot of guys.
I think it gives more school shots at kids too.
Right. So there's a lot of guys who've said exactly what you said. They wouldn't change their decision, but they do like the idea, like you said, waiting till later down the line, get more options. And some of these guys, I mean, let's use a guy like Ben Joyce, who's already in the pros, right?
Yeah.
He didn't get any offers until after he'd already committed to a community college because he didn't hit a growth spurt till his senior year, shot up 9 inches. His velo went up 11 miles an hour, and everything like that. And so he had already committed early to a school and he believed in committing. If you wait till later that senior year, it would all change the game. And so we've got a lot of guys like that, but most people say they wouldn't change where they chose, no doubt. And for you, you look at how this is played out, you definitely wouldn't change it. I think you probably, because you're about swag, I think you picked it because of the unis and the colors and the field.
So what's crazy, man, is like I can see how somebody could fall in love with the coach for this reason. When they're basically backing you as a freshman in high school, that's like a long-term commitment, a long-term plan that you fit the trajectory that we're trying to build, which is to take my team back to Omaha. And to be able to be a part of that now, looking back at it when you commit, it's like, man, that's unbelievable. One, that everything panned out to you going there, but also the long-term plan that the coaches put together, like piece by piece, like fit to a T.
Well, and that's why a lot of these guys say that they have no regret because they went to the school that came after them early and wanted them. So there's something about that. When a coach comes at you and shows you that love early, you're appreciative, right? You're not the one late to the game, and you reward those who come to it early. But right off the bat, man, I gotta talk to you. When it comes to Wake, I just said something about the swag. I go out to Winston-Salem and watch you, Tommy, and the first thing I notice, other than your elite speed, is your cleat game, man. And I get to talking to Brock, and he said, man, that's just one pair. Dude's got cleats out the yang. Like, talk to me. How many pairs you got? What's your favorite?
I actually only had 2 pairs this year, so he was lying about that. But I only had my gold and black pair I had those for 2 years, and I wore those my freshman year, and then some of this year, and then I got that other pair this year, the black pair. But I got that pair, that gold and black pair, my first pair of ones in the cleats, and I honestly just thought they were just the most comfortable cleat that I've ever worn, and obviously they were a little swaggy, but I thought they were the most comfortable cleat I've ever worn, and so I just started sticking with them, and I was just keep rocking them.
Well, I mean, a lot of people are pretty basic other than Dylan Cruz. And so for me, it was the first time that I seen somebody who had fresh cleats like that. Him and Kay Beloso. And And now I question everything with Brock because he told me, because I had wore my golden black J's to watch y'all, and he told me that he had like 20 pairs of J's. Now I gotta have somebody do a closet check and see if he's lying. Because he said you had a bunch.
He's got a lot of J's, but he gets like
he was just trying to give you props. He was trying to give you props. It's all good.
Yeah. But now I only have 2 pairs of cleats, and yeah, that's what it is. I rocked with them all year. I changed my cleats up like 10 games into the season, and Jim started hitting homers somehow. It just happened.
Daniel was kind of like, dude, he kind of had the Sandlot vibes with Benny. Like, he had those fresh shoes, and then he ran
Flyers.
PF Flyers. That's what I'm saying. He ran like he had them on, dude. Dude could have pickled the beast, undoubtedly. But let's get into it, man. When you get to Wake, are you one of those that's like, man, you're nervous when you get there because there's all these expectations, or are you one of those that's excited? Let's get on the field and play ball.
So actually, I feel like I kind of had no expectations at Wake. This was also due to the fact that I had surgery going right into school. I had surgery like July 6th, and I went to, or July 4th or 3rd or something. I went to summer school July 6th, and I had surgery on my wrist and was out the whole fall and stuff. So everyone's kind of, you could get that vibe where it's like everyone looks at you, you're not playing, you're just like sitting around, not really working out or anything, and you're just like the smallest guy on the team. So it's like and no one really seen you play or anything. So it was kind of like I had no expectations going in. And I mean, I've started playing in the preseason and I didn't like hit that well. I didn't hit bad, but I didn't hit that well. I mean, I had taken a ton of time off from baseball and everything, and I got thrown into it kind of quick. And I ended up last season not starting, and then ended up getting a start because our center fielder got hurt. But yeah, I feel like I had no expectations going into school. Besides the fact I did have a pretty good like high school record and like things about that, but from like a college perspective and the guys on my team perspective and my coach, I feel like there's no expectations.
Yeah. So, I mean, here's the crazy part. So, you obviously come off the injury and you don't play in the fall, and then you have no problem getting acclimated. You freaking played in 58 games, 46 starts in the outfield, led the team with the fourth highest batting average as a freshman in program history with 380, led the team in on-base percentage with a ridiculous 502. Tommy, batting 380 as a freshman, man, playing in the ACC, which ain't no joke, man. Just talk to me about that success early, especially the fact that you didn't get to play in the fall.
I feel like when I went out there, when I did get my chance, it was just kind of like I gave no fucks really. And it just like, I was just going out there to compete because I knew I had to prove myself kind of, and I didn't want to stress about that and stress about different things, but I knew I had to prove myself to my coaches and everyone. And I mean, I was getting like pinch hit at bats and a start here or there when that kid got hurt. And then we went down to Georgia Tech for I want to say our second ACC series that year. And I had a crazy weekend. I started off the weekend like 5 for 5 in the first 2 games. And then I just raked that whole weekend and ended up starting the rest of the year. But it just kind of like, I went into that game just like, I don't care. I just got to prove myself pretty much, catch some barrels.
Yeah, I mean, in that you did. I mean, the batting average itself is sick. The OBP, it just talks about as a freshman, man, your patience, your ability to see the ball. So yeah, man, shout out to you. Just, I mean, out the gates, some guys struggle early, and so I want to really get into this past season, so I don't want to spend too much time on the freshman season, but I do want to talk about, you go to College Park, and y'all obviously lose to Maryland. But the question I asked Brock and I asked Adam and Nick, knowing you had what you had coming back, all the talent you did, a lot of them said that they were, even though they were down, they were excited, ready for the next season because you knew that you had a team that was going to be able to come back and be better than the previous team. Did you feel the same way?
I mean, yeah, coming in like throughout the summer and stuff, I knew we were going to have a better team. And then when I got here in the fall, it was just like a whole different scene compared to what it was last year. I feel like from day one, it was kind of like we knew we were going to be really good. And I thought that was actually kind of crazy because like the year before we were just like, I feel like it's more relaxed vibe and different things. And this year we just come right in and we're like, yeah, we're just going to beat everyone's ass and be the number 1 team. And we kind of like spoke it into existence and we just like believed in it and it happened.
Yeah, we kind of got mocked here and off the bench. There wasn't a single one of the 3 of us that didn't have you in the top 4, as high as 3 on mine, and I believe Daniel had you. I think Randy had you at 4, and so a lot of people were like, "I don't understand why you're so high on Wake," and it's like, do your homework. And so with that, man, like, even when the season started and y'all were pounding people, no one was still giving you the respect. Did y'all like that y'all were playing that role that everybody was sleeping on?
A little bit, yeah, for sure. I mean, we didn't really care. Even when we got the number 1 ranking, we didn't really care. I mean, I feel like we just still went out and tried to win every series, win every midweek, and just beat everyone's ass. And that's kind of what we did all year we didn't lose back-to-back games all year. We didn't lose back-to-back games all year until we played LSU. And I mean, I feel like if we did lose a game, like we dropped a game at Coastal or something, if we do lose a game, we just kind of like adjusted really fast and got ready for the next game. And played a way better baseball game every time we lost. The next game, we'd always play a way better game.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, no back-to-back losses, just shows the way you did. And then I always thought the midweeks were important, right? Like you see a lot of the big dogs losing the midweeks, and like, no, y'all didn't take the midweek off, right? Like, I mean, especially playing like the Coastal Carolinas of the world and everything, like y'all made sure to make a statement even on a Tuesday night. And so, this year you batted 351, 73 runs, 7 home runs, 35 RBIs, 14 stolen bases. Not to mention, like I said, man, covering center field, you were making ridiculous plays on the regular. Let's get into a home series, right? What would you say was your favorite home series of the entire season?
Counting the postseason or no?
We'll go ahead and count postseason. Yeah.
I'd say Alabama.
Not a bad one to be your favorite. That second game, I'm not going to get into it yet. That's actually part of something I wanted to talk about. But what would be your favorite away series? Like, y'all, I mean, y'all didn't lose a series all year, so
I would say
can't be a bad choice.
I would say Louisville or Clemson. Louisville, man, I don't know. It's Louisville or Clemson for sure.
When y'all, because I didn't look. Obviously, I don't study when you play a certain team. When you played Louisville, was that before they kind of fell off a cliff?
Yeah, that was right. We kind of like, it felt like right after we played them, they fell off. I mean,
You snatched their soul, Tommy?
well, Napcheck got hurt against us, and then like, I don't know, they just kind of like fell off and started losing a bunch of games. We beat them in that series, and then after that, they just fell out of the rankings.
So Daniel, you had two teams that went a different route. So you had Louisville, they snatched their soul and they fell off. And then you had Clemson, they pissed them off and they got hot after Wake was done with them.
Yeah, I mean, good teams tend to do that. They either make you hate life and you kind of fold, or they make you test yourself and see what you got in you, and you can go one way or the other, definitely.
So, here you are, number one team. No one's sleeping on you anymore. You're hosting the regionals. The first game I want to talk about, man, like me and Daniel talked about this on the show. 10:45, man. Y'all put out a hype video that y'all are going to start at 10:45, no matter what. And like, how does this whole thing come about? Like, y'all are going to do a little hype video, get people fired up, make sure that everybody still tunes in.
Well, I think this was our second game of the regional when we played Maryland, right?
Right, exactly.
And I don't know, we got to field, we got literally both teams hid and everything. We might have even taken in and out, who knows? And the next thing that they just like pulled us off the field, so we were just hanging there for hours on end, hours on end.
5 hours. It says y'all waited.
We were waiting to play all day, and we kind of knew that we had to get the game in, and they knew that, and so it was just a matter of time for them waiting to tell us to go out on the field. But in the middle of it, we were in the team lounge, and we just like, our basketball coach came in there, and we kind of made a hype video because we had a bunch of time, and we made the hype video, and it ended up, I mean, I don't know if it made a lot of fans come, but I know we still got a good.
You still had a good turnout.
Yeah, it was a really good turnout at 10:45 at night in Winston-Salem for sure.
It made it to where I was going to stay up no matter what I'm watching. I probably would have anyway, but I didn't make it through the whole game because y'all were putting such a beat down on them. I mean, yeah. I think y'all were going to like 2 a.m. still scoring runs on them. So with that, how did it feel? The team that eliminated you the year before hanging 21 runs up on them.
I mean, it felt good. Someone was asking me before we played them, they're like, are you going to have, they were talking about having bad blood with Maryland. And I was like, I mean, I don't really care about Maryland. I know, like last year, I know they probably shouldn't have beaten us. And this year, there was no chance they could have beaten us. I mean, I thought they had just zero shot, if I'm being honest with you. Like, yeah. I mean, we obviously went after them a little bit harder than like George Mason, but I just thought there's just like no shot. They're facing Rhett. Rhett's all juiced up. I mean, Rhett's stuff wise that night was probably the best I've ever seen in my life from a guy in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, his last outing was pretty good.
Yeah, I get that. And I get that. But his outing against Maryland, I swear, was just like, his pitches were the best I've ever seen his pitches in his life, I thought. from center field personally, because I watched them all year and last year, and I just was like, damn, this is unhittable.
Yeah, and I don't think it was arrogant for you to say that y'all didn't feel like y'all could be beat in the regionals. Obviously, you didn't feel like you get beat at all, but everybody across the nation looked at that regional and thought that, people look for upsets. Like Daniel picked the Oral Roberts one, right? But like nobody was going to pick anybody from the Winston-Salem regional to knock you off. But y'all go to the supers. And you know how it is. People like the SEC has been a dominant conference, no doubt. But Alabama ain't one of those top teams. But people wanted to try to pretend, okay, well, now they got to face the SEC team. So let's see what they can do now. And obviously, y'all decided to let them know like just how good you are. And that game was that second game specifically. Obviously, y'all end up just edging out the first game. Nashi, he obviously shuts it down. But that second game, and you were part of it. You hit a no-doubter bomb. Brock hits his 3 bombs. Like, just talk to me about that in a nutshell. One, like putting the haters to rest and taking Alabama out and putting up those runs. But also talk to me, obviously Brock sets the record. You hit that no doubt out of right field. Just talk to me about that whole game and the experience.
Yeah, that whole day / weekend was, I mean, for me, it was crazy. It was the coolest scene I've seen in Winston-Salem ever. And I've lived there for 4 years now. That was the coolest thing I've ever been a part of, for sure. I mean, the home runs and all that stuff, the wind was howling out in our super regional, but like, I mean, we were just kind of like just touching up baseballs. Like, no
I
doubt.
didn't see yours land. It went over the trees. I have no
We didn't
clue where
just
it
hit,
landed.
but like we hit a bunch of home runs that second game. And I mean, obviously I saw on Twitter after them, just like people shitting on our field and stuff. But like, I mean, we were touching up baseballs that were just going for over 400 feet, and it was just no doubters. And you're just to the pool side too. Like, if it was 400 feet to center field, like that's a little different. But it was like 400 feet to the pool side, and you're just like, okay, we're just like hitting moonshots off these guys.
Yeah,
and
I feel like it was like Corona or something. There was only one guy who maybe had one that just barely went over the fence. Everybody else's was 100 feet over the fence, like no doubt. And I was trying to put the haters to rest on Twitter. I was like, dude, what game are y'all watching? Like, these things are going over
but
three.
like after we beat them Friday, it was like, well, shit, they ain't got nothing for us. They can't beat us twice in a row. So we went out there so confident that I think we played Saturday and Sunday, but that second game we went out there so confident and loose, and just like we just knew we were gonna beat the shit out of them. It felt like walking into the park, we knew it was about to happen. And yeah, they kind of folded over really quick whenever we put up runs in like the third, third inning.
Well, this is a point Daniel always tries to make, and this might be where you're fixing to go, Daniel. Like, because he's a pitcher, everybody talks about the park, right? But the other team bats there too, right? Like, so it's funny how they say that, but why ain't they putting up 22 runs?
Yeah, I mean, it's barreling up baseballs and putting good swings on baseballs is all in the player who's swinging the bat. Like, there's a little bit generated by the pitcher, but I mean, if you're hitting 400-foot bombs to the pool side, like, those are bombs anywhere. Sorry, they're just going to be bombs at any part. I was going to ask, when you know that a team has to beat you twice, what is the conversation like when you go into the first game? Is it like, hey, let's just end it now? Or is it loose? You don't really talk about it and you just kind of go out and kind of do your thing?
So that's kind of a good question, because like for me, I feel like the vibe with us compared from the super regional with our 2 games where we won the first game against Alabama, we just knew we were going to win the second game. We were just like, all right, that's like taken care of already. We haven't even played the game. But then like in Omaha, I felt like we lost that first game against LSU. And I mean, we knew he had the face schemes. We knew he had Rhett. Like I was very confident in Rhett and going out there and facing them. But I feel like as our whole team was just like, in general, just like a little bit more shaken up by that loss. It was just like a little different. It was obviously a bigger stage, but it was just like a little different. And we knew LSU could like punch us back every once in a while, and we just like never punch them with a run across that last game, but that's kind of how it felt. It was just like we kind of got. I just feel like the morale of the team was just a little different after the LSU loss. But like going out against Alabama was just like, yeah, like we're gonna prove to everyone this weekend. We're just better than an SEC school, so that's kind of how it was.
So you get to Omaha. Let me ask you, man. Like, obviously, y'all had sellout crowds of, like about 4,000. You walk out on that field against Stanford, and I was at that game. I remember the announced attendance was like 24,000 plus. What's it like, man, when, how amped are you getting when you look around and you see 24,000 plus watching you?
Well, it's pretty unreal. I mean, it's actually very unreal playing in it. I would say I've told everyone this that I'm friends with and stuff, but the most nerve-wracking part for me was actually like the walk out from the hotel and stuff like that. That was like the most nerve-wracking part, but like getting on the field and like being in center field or like being on the field hitting BP and stuff and like hitting or whatever, it doesn't matter. It just like it made me relax compared to like walking out and just seeing hella fans. It was a different vibe. The whole week was just like way different than anything I expected personally. I thought it like exceeded my expectations.
Yeah, I was very impressed by the Wake fan base because I made the mistake in the sense of when I came to see y'all, it was like 40 degrees against Notre Dame and lacked in attendance. And so, because it was cold or whatever. And then obviously I see that y'all start, selling out games, but then I don't know what to expect. I don't know who's going to come from North Carolina to Omaha. And then I get there day one, I'm in Rocco's. I got Wake Forest fans who've sent me money to do shots for Wake. And so I can't drink all those. So I'm buying Wake fans shots and they seem to be everywhere. And so I was very impressed by the way your fan base, man, came out there. And in that first game, in the Wake Stanford game, there was a lot of black and gold out there. So that was pretty cool. So y'all take care of that game. Obviously, you get that done. Obviously, Camden closes it down again because I think Stanford kind of got overlooked. I think you would probably agree. Like when you look at all four teams that were in bracket 2, like I mean, definitely to me the best four along with Florida were on that side. And so everybody was kind of overlooking them, and y'all didn't have an easy draw, but you get it done. And then you have the Louder Skeens matchup where got the two best pitchers in baseball. Like when you look back on that, you talked about being in center field watching, and then obviously you're in the dugout watching the other side. Like, just what was it like watching those two go toe to toe?
It's pretty unbelievable. I mean, just watching that and being part of that game, like, and especially playing in that game is pretty crazy. I mean, it, I don't know. I feel like I don't really realize how special that game was, even though we lost. Like, I know we lost, but like, I feel like I haven't really watched it or anything as much as I thought I would have. But I feel like that game was just like just playing in it was a it was a very different game than normal games in a sense of how good of baseball both teams were playing. I
It was
thought
the
I
most watched baseball game of the entire season.
yeah, I think the sense of us and LSU, just the very good baseball that we both played, or both of our teams played. Both teams can bunt, both teams can make all their plays. We don't make errors. They don't make errors. We hit, they hit, it's kind of like up and down the lineup. It's just like we homer, they homer. It just like, and it was just two cats going after each other, and someone had to end the game at some point, and it was probably going to end up on a homer because I don't think either team could have strung along 2 or 3 hits together to win. That's kind of how it felt personally.
I based the game off of how uncomfortable Jim is during the game. And there were moments where he felt really good, but then there were moments, and probably towards the end as it kept going on and there's no definitive like team that has momentum because
Well,
it
let's
kept
be
going
honest.
back and forth.
Let's be honest, when it comes to LSU's biggest worry and our concern was our bullpen. That's not something that Wake was necessarily worried about. They had dudes that had proven themselves all year. So as the game prolongs, after you get Louder and Skeens out, of course I'm nervous as hell because now you're to something that's been their strong suit and not ours.
Sure.
And
Sure.
so, I mean, obviously, like you said, y'all lost out. Y'all won the first one. And so, Daniel brings out the numbers. Actually, I think, I don't have it in front of me. I actually think game 3 was the most watched. I could be wrong.
But at that time, it was the most watched game of the season, and with good reason. Like, you had
Yes.
2 of the best arms in college baseball on the
They'll be
mound.
the first 2 off the board Friday, Daniel, when we're together in Tampa watching the draft. Be the first 2 off the board.
It should
So,
be.
so let me ask you, man. You get to that third game, man. Daniel talked about it. The different scenario, whatever. It kind of, and you said it kind of shook you, but like, I mean, still though, all year you said you haven't lost back-to-back games. And I'll tell you as an LSU fan, like it's like Daniel said, he goes based off the pulse to me. I didn't walk into that game as an LSU fan with confidence that we were going to win. Like I was really 50-50. I tell people, and I stick to this. I put this out there on social media. Some people, a lot of people agreed with it. But I did get some feedback that was negative, but I felt like that was the championship game. Game 3 between Wake and LSU. It felt like the championship because I was there for the whole LSU Florida series. It never had the vibe of the Wake LSU series.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say the fans for sure showed out for that series. That was crazy. But like I said, both teams, all 3 games played really damn good baseball and kind of just went at each other and just someone had to beat one another. And it was kind of just how it was. Like, I thought when we took the first game, I was like, damn, there's no shot. LSU's beating us twice. We're about to win this whole damn thing. We beat LSU. But I mean, the game against not Typhoid, but the second game we played that we lost, it was just like, I don't know, we went down real early and then we just couldn't like get it going again, kind of. And then the last game, like I said, we knew we were both teams. I know for sure were going into it where it was like you just gotta grind. Like I mean as a hitter, from the hitter standpoint, it's like you just gotta grind, get this guy out the game, maybe scratch a run or 2 off. That's what you got to do. Hopefully, maybe someone runs into a ball, but damn, just like you just got to grind, put pitches on them. And we as our team, I thought personally, we put way more pitches on Skeens than Rhett had. I mean, we had Skeens at 100 something pitches, and he went back out there for the 8th or 9th. But Rhett got pulled out the game in the 7th with 85, with also eating no food. So
Yeah.
he went shoddy eating no food. I mean, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, the game goes to extras. You get everything you want, and for LSU fans, you feel real vindicated in your pickup of Tommy White, as he obviously gets the bomb and extras, and I know it didn't sit well for you, but as you look back on it, man, obviously you come up short, but you make the run to Omaha, like Daniel talks about, most televised games. You set sellout records, at the couch. You win every series all year. Obviously, you didn't accomplish the biggest task, but nonetheless, dude, y'all accomplished a shitload of stuff along the way. So, I mean, you still have to, man. I know some people don't believe in the silver lining thing, but you have to feel really good about everything that took place this year.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was definitely just the funnest baseball season of my life, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. I mean, even though we lost, it still was the craziest ride I've ever been a part of. That shit was something else for sure.
And I mean, and I'll end with this and let Daniel play a game. Obviously, I seen you guys all in the lobby, took pictures, signed autographs with me and my son and everything. Man, y'all were really cool after the fact, man. Y'all could have been salty as hell. And I actually got to shout out my own fan base. Obviously it wasn't all of them, but there was a large group. You obviously saw LSU fans that were applauding because they felt the same way I did. Like y'all were the best competition we had faced and we're gonna face. And so, man, just we were proud. Me especially, obviously as a college baseball fan, man, like just proud of what y'all accomplished on the season. And man, look forward to next season. As you know, I obviously know y'all are losing some dudes, but just like the previous year, you got a lot of dudes coming back, and now, like you said, you even gonna get to play with your brother. So, man, I look forward to
Maybe we'll see about that.
it.
Ah,
Draft eligible this year, so we'll see.
let's go. Let's go.
I
All
didn't.
right.
I didn't. Hold on, man. We got to walk that back.
Yep,
It does not, dude. I do thorough research. It does not say. It does not say anything about that.
I got reclassed my 7th grade year, and
That's why. Because it straight up says sophomore on your profile.
yeah, I am a straight up sophomore, but I got reclassed 7th grade, so I'll be 21 here in 4 days. So
Oh, just in the nick of time. Look at that.
no,
Wow.
yes,
Wow.
sir.
Well, Tommy, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think many people realize that you're draft eligible. So we're kind of like breaking some news here.
Oh. I think the right people know.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
well, the draft people know, but the people who've
Yeah.
been talking about Wake as far as next year, they're like, they're definitely going to have Kurtz and Hawke and all that coming back. No, they may not.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not rolling anything out, but we'll see. Definitely, it's just a waiting game at this point. But yeah, that was one thing my dad looked into for sure, which is kind of crazy because I wasn't even like getting recruited or anything, but he knew if I did get reclass, I'd be draft eligible sophomore and different things. But yeah, I didn't know that until maybe going in, like right when I got to school, maybe. I think that's when I found out.
Man, it's a big week for you then. So,
Sure.
we'll see what happens. Either way, promising future no matter what. So it's always good to know that in the back of your head. So with that, man, let's jump into a game called This or That. You down to play?
Gotcha.
All right, man. It's brought to you by the Chinook Seedery. If you want craft seeds, quality ingredients with tons of flavors, no sandpaper tongue, you got to go grab you a bag of Chinook seeds. They are the best in the game. Tommy, I have to ask you, have you had a bag of their seeds?
I have not.
Well, we're going to have to change that. Jim will make it his point to get you a bag of those seeds. And I challenge you to tell me a sunflower seed that's better.
I'm gonna tell you,
won't
he's gonna have to do a trade off, Daniel, since he's fixing to be 21. He needs to get me that craft beer that they sell at the games. I'm gonna tell you something about going to the couch. It's
All
not
right,
it's not Bud Light and Coors Light and Michelob. No, man. It is the local brews. And
Deacon
man,
Brew.
yes, it is
Deacon
different.
Brew.
I'm gonna tell you right now, from a beverage standpoint, it was by far the best game. And I was in a stadium every single weekend this season. It was by far the best beverage selection I found.
Hey, I'm down to try that. So just make it a 2-pack. I'll try it. All right, Tommy, here we go. First question. Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
I always wonder this. So why pancakes? Because I like both, but I think waffles are the way to go. But I want to hear why pancakes.
So if I'm being honest with you, I think French toast is the way to go. But if I'm picking between pancakes and waffles, I'm going pancakes. Just more classy. I don't know. They're just like
Waffles.
As long as you put syrup on all three.
I mean,
for sure. Yeah, for syrup on all three.
Waffles were designed with these gutters for syrup and butter. Like what? Like how could you not just go?
I like a waffle, but I'd rather have a pancake or French toast. It's my thing.
What feels better, a web gem or a big hit?
Big hit.
Big hit.
I actually thought he would go the other way. I'm gonna be honest.
I thought about it, and I just feel like getting the big hit's cooler. For sure.
I feel like a big hit, like you know what a big hit is, but a web gem, like really depending on like the situation. Like if you got nobody on, nobody out, you make a diving catch, and okay, cool. Like, but you got 2 guys on, 2 outs, a ball hitting the gap. You're having to get on your horse, and you make a diving catch, like.
Yeah, that's
head going towards the wall.
He did that and made SportsCenter top 10 doing it.
That's why I'm bringing it up,
forward.
Because like there's like you have like for a web gem to be better than a big hit. I think there's so many like specific instances that you have to like place it in. So
Yep, for sure. It definitely depends on the situation, but I think I'm still going with big hit.
if you left an island with either if you were left on an island, okay, with either your worst enemy or no one, which option would you choose?
No one.
No one? You could tough it out by yourself?
Yeah. Easily.
I can't. I
Yeah.
gotta have somebody to talk to. I'll fight with them. That's fine.
I grew up in an island, so that'd be fine.
What would you rather wear, pinstripes or the black unis?
Pinstripes,
Classic.
for
Something-
sure.
I
something to
guess
be
I'm like
said
the
about-
only. I think I'm the only non-classic guy, Daniel. All four weight guys have said pinstripes, and I like their blacks.
See, you weren't
We
listening
didn't
at the
really wear our
beginning,
blacks as much this year, though. I felt like.
but you also, Jim, you weren't listening at the beginning of the episode when he talked about Robinson Cano and the Yankees. Like,
True, but all his teammates said pinstripes. I would wear the black ones, but I'm also a Saints fan. I like the black and gold. Let's go.
I hear that.
so what's more important to you? And I think we already know the answer. Hair flow or your cleats? Is it your feet or your head?
Head, straight up.
The hair flow, I mean,
Yeah, for sure.
now that you've cut the hair, do you feel like something's missing? Do you feel like a different person?
A little bit, but a little bit. I feel like I ain't got anything coming out the back, and I can't rock hats the same. But I definitely feel it feels good to have shorter hair for once in a while.
When he puts a hat on, Daniel, it's gonna be like Jordan Beck from Tennessee last year when he cut his hair for going to Colorado, and I saw him on baseball field, and I was like, who the hell is that?
It's like Rick Vaughn without his glasses. So would you rather own a massive yacht or your own private jet?
Massive yacht.
Yeah. I mean, I like the jet. I like the idea of being able to go anywhere at any given notice. Like you don't have to have like you can go over water, you don't have to go through it. The yacht is nice because I mean,
See the world.
yeah, I mean you could
Plus, I've
go
seen pictures of you
camp
fishing.
out.
So
Yeah, for sure. Would you rather spend an hour in a walk-in freezer or 2 hours in a sauna?
2 hours in the sauna.
Oh yeah, I hate being cold, man.
Yeah, I hate the cold too. I
You
hate
can
it.
only put on so many clothes, and
Yeah.
like, at some point, it just
Yeah.
it's obnoxious.
It's just not it sometimes.
All right, would you rather win $1 million but have to spend it on other people, or would you rather win $1,000 and you only get to spend it on yourself?
I'll go with the million for sure.
Man.
I can still use that stuff. I can buy some food for someone else and still eat it, right?
True. I guess that's you're a very generous guy. I don't I think a lot of people would say that. I don't think a lot of people mean that. But
Yeah.
I think you're genuine. I think
you know what question I want to
But $1
bring
million
back?
compared to 1,000 is a lot.
yeah, it's kind of
A lot.
Here's the question I'm gonna bring back all the way from season 4, Daniel, because this is gonna spice it up.
going way back.
Tommy, would you rather be the first pick in the MLB draft, but the caveat is you have to cut all your friends loose, can't ever be friends with them again, or be the last pick and you get to keep them?
I'll go with the last pick.
Oh, I thought I only asked him that because I thought he was going because he said that whole island comment earlier too.
Well, you said that was with my worst enemy, though.
But I had a feeling you might take that first pick and that money.
Nah.
Tommy, let me tell you something, man. If that was even an option in my life, I'd get rid of Jim, and he's my best friend. I'd get rid of him so fast. It's not even question. I'd find a new
we're
Jim.
talking about $10 million. I'm cutting you loose for. I'm down.
I'd find 2 Jims, maybe
Yeah.
3. I mean,
And you can buy a gym too. Like, I mean,
for real. All right, Tommy, man, you are done. Anything you want to plug or promote before we let you bounce?
Nothing, man. I got nothing for all.
Well, here's what I'll do for you. If people want to know what Tommy Hawke's up to on a Monday night. Maybe he's recording a podcast, or on Tuesday, maybe it's Taco Tuesday, or maybe it's the weekend and next week and he's preparing to have his name called in the draft. Who knows? Going over to IG at Tommy Hawke E. So it's a double E, not one, but two E's. Or who knows? You might see him back with the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. If that's the case, head over to IG at Wake Baseball. Tommy, man, we wish you nothing but the best. Best of luck this weekend. Best of luck in the future. If there's anything we can do for you, man, just reach out. We'd love to help you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I'll keep in touch for sure. See you, Jim. CDB.
Yep. See ya. That's Tommy Hawke, everybody. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we got some headlines for you.